Hello and welcome to page 2 of the notes, and now we're just going to continue just processing what spherical coordinates are and how to translate from rectangular to spherical, spherical to rectangular, and to know what type, what we're actually looking at when we are given spherical equations. Alright, so example 2. We want to change from rectangular to spherical coordinates. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to find rho. So if you recall, rho squared is equal to x squared plus y squared plus c squared. Or we could say rho is equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared plus z squared. So we can say the square root of radical 3 squared plus negative 1 squared plus 2 radical 3 squared. Alright, when we do this, we're just going to get the square root. 3 plus 1 plus 12. Add those together and we get 16. So the square root of 16 is just 4. So our rho is 4. So we got our first one. And then we need to find phi, and we need to find theta. Alright, so we want to use values that we know. So let's go ahead and find, the easiest one, which is going to be z is equal to rho cosine phi. Alright, so finding that, we're going to solve for cosine phi. So cosine phi is just equal to z over rho. So cosine phi is equal to z over rho. And then we go ahead and plug in the values for z and rho. Z is 2 square root of 3. Rho is 4, which that's going to reduce to square root of 3 over 2. And then inverse cosine of square root of 3 over 2. When we inverse cosine of square root of 3 over 2, we are going to get pi over 6. And then for theta, again, we can use either one of these two equations. Alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the x equation. So I'm going to solve for cosine theta, so I'm going to divide by rho sine phi to solve for cosine theta. So I'm going to have cosine theta is equal to 1 over, not 1 over, x over rho sine phi. So our x is radical 3, our rho was 4, and sine phi is going to be sine of pi over 6. Sine of pi over 6 is just 1/2. So we get radical 3 over 2. And then solving for cosine phi is going to give us 11 pi over 6. And the reason why it's 11 pi over 6 is because y is negative 1. Alright, so that's why we're taking the 11 pi over 6. Again, it tells us we're in the fourth quadrant on the xy plane because y is negative but x is positive. Okay. Alright, and that go ahead and does that. So then we have all of our coordinates. And so we have 4. Then theta comes next, I believe. So I'm sorry, yeah, 11 pi over 6. And then pi over 6. And those are our spherical coordinates. All right, let's go ahead and now look at how to identify the surface whose equation is given by this. And so again, we're used to seeing things in rectangular coordinates, so we're going to convert this to rectangular coordinates. So the first thing I want to do is I want to distribute my rho squared and then now realize, oh, this right here is just, since it's in there, so I'm going to go ahead and write this. This is rho sine phi sine theta. Alright, it's ugly. Sine phi sine theta, all that squared, plus this is just rho cosine phi squared, and equals 9. Well, rho sine phi sine theta is just y, so it's just y squared, plus rho cosine phi is just z, so y squared plus z squared equals 9. And then here we go. What we have is we have a cylinder. So the surface is a circular cylinder of radius 3 along the x-axis. So you know, usually, especially for spherical coordinates, the way you can identify the surface is you can just change it to rectangular coordinates, and then we're used to looking at those. All right, write the equation in spherical coordinates. So our first one, we have x squared minus 2x plus y squared plus z squared equals 0. Let's go ahead and write this way. X squared plus y squared plus z squared minus 2x equals 0. And, well, this right here is just rho squared. Write a better rho than that. It's just rho squared. And then minus 2, what is x? X is going to be rho sine phi cosine theta. And that equals 0. All right, we are finished there. All right, we don't have to go any further. We changed everything to spherical and we're done. All right, we can, I mean, if we want to make it look nicer, we can. But I'm not going to worry about that. All right. For B, same thing, x plus 2y plus 3z equals 1. And so we're going to go ahead and write what x is. So that's rho sine phi cosine theta plus y, which is 2 rho, it looks more like a p, 2 rho sine phi sine theta plus 3 rho cosine. I did not get that where I wanted it. Cosine phi. And that equals 1. And again, I'm happy to say you're done here. Right? You don't have to solve for rho or anything. You can be finished. All right.